Is it possible for you to be able to use $50,000 or more in unsecured credit that you can actually use for free for a full year to build a multi-million-dollar business? Well, I'm here to share with you a secret strategy on exactly how to do that. So buckle up your seatbelts because I have a lot of stuff to share in a very short period of time. Here we go. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, Monica, what are you talking about? How can I possibly get $50,000 or more in unsecured credit, even if maybe I don't have good credit right now, or maybe I just don't have any idea on how to borrow that kind of credit? Well, I'm here to share with you exactly how to do that in the most streamlined and simplistic way, step-by-step possible, so that you can utilize this $50,000 or even more in unsecured credit to be able to build a business, buy a business, and be able to literally use this money virtually for free for a year, sometimes slightly longer. So let me first share with you exactly what I'm talking about, kind of how this whole thing works, and I'm going to work my way kind of backwards, all right? So here you'll notice a pre-approval, and it is for Chase Inc. card. So if you are fairly new to business, or maybe you don't even have a business yet, all you need to do is basically start what we call a for-profit corporation. It could also be an LLC. Even though I do advise against starting an LLC if you're a single member LLC, because even though most states will allow you to start a single member LLC, the IRS, which is the federal government, does not recognize a single member LLC tax filing, which you're going to have to file every single year in March 15th of every single year. So my recommendation to you is to get a for-profit corporation, which would allow you to use the Inc., for example, or LTD, which is limited, a variety of other different post fixes, I guess you can call it. And you start yourself a for-profit corporation, ideally in your home state, or you can start a for-profit corporation in one of the anonymous 4 states, which is New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming, or Delaware. If you start a for-profit corporation in one of those 4 states, you can start it as an anonymous corporation, which means nobody is basically going to know who owns the corporation. I like that for extra peace of mind and asset protection. And so essentially what you could do after that point, once you get your EIN, which stands for Employer Identification Number, which is essentially the Social Security number for your for-profit corporation, you can then start applying for business credit. And even though your for-profit corporation is going to be brand spanking new, as long as you have a mid-credit FICO score of 750 or above, you can qualify to get unsecured credit from places like Chase Inc. Like this is a pre-approval from Chase Inc. for about $50,000 right off the bat. This is one of the favorite credit cards I have for business credit is Chase Inc. because right off the bat they will give you up to $50,000 for a brand spanking new corporation. And what's cool about this is that even if you don't get this pre-approval offer in the mail, you don't have to, because right now they're offering a program where you can literally look for Chase Inc. 0% APR program online through Google, and you can find it right away, and you can actually apply online through Chase Inc. And you don't even need to get the pre-approval in the mail to be able to participate. So basically, you do have to have a 750 mid-FICO. If you don't have a 750 mid-FICO, check out my other credit repair and rebuilding videos that I have on YouTube. And I could share with you some unorthodox, little-known secrets to be able to boost up your personal FICO score by hundreds of points in the next 90 days or less. It just depends on how screwed up your credit is. That will determine how fast you can do that. But even if you don't do the business credit part of it, you're going to have to make good on your personal credit, because listen, personal credit's necessary if you're going to get even a job these days. They check your credit, or they check your credit obviously when you're renting an apartment or renting a house. You need credit for everything. So if your credit's in the toilet, you do have to fix it anyway. So you might as well fix it with the intent on being able to access $50,000 off the bat. $50,000, by the way, that you can utilize and pay the minimum balance of for the next year, sometimes slightly longer, at 0% APR. So you need to get that mid-FICO to 750 or above. Again, check out my other YouTube videos on exactly how to do that. Now, say you do have a 750 mid-FICO right now, what you're going to want to do is apply for this. Again, you don't have to wait till the pre-approval comes in the mail. You can actually get it online right now through Chase Inc. They will give you about $50,000 right off the bat. Yes, even if you do have a brand new business. Now, I also recommend that you go with other credit card companies too for business credit. You specifically want corporate or business credit, where you have to use not only your personal Social Security, but also the Social Security number of your company, which is your EIN, as well on the application. And these are some of the pre-approvals that I've gotten just in the last few weeks from Bank of America, Capital One, which, by the way, I don't recommend the Capital One Sparks business account because they do report that on your personal credit. Discover Business also reports that on your personal credit. So you don't want Discover Business and you do not want Capital One Sparks. But all the other credit companies, Bank of America, US Bank, American Express especially, they don't report on your personal credit, which is exactly what you want, because you don't want the usage of these cards to weigh down your personal credit score. So once you get your Chase Inc. card, and you can again get the 0% APR for about a year, check out other programs online, because usually Bank of America and US Bank will also offer 7, 8, 9 months, sometimes up to a year of 0% APR as well. And you can get yourself $50,000 to $100,000 off the bat utilizing these credit cards, to whereas you're getting a 0% APR for at least the first year in many cases, that you can now turn around and use that money to build wealth. So this is the important part, because a lot of people who are not schooled in exactly how to build wealth, sometimes they might blow that money. I'm not talking about you, but other people might blow that money on things that are just simply not important. Like, for example, a new TV or a new luxury car or clothes or things that are not going to make you money. So it's really vitally important that you understand that you need to use this money to make money. Now, the quickest, fastest, and easiest way to do that, in my personal opinion, is to go on a website like, for example, Flippa.com. Flippa.com would allow you to actually buy a pre-existing, already cash flowing business, to where you don't actually have to start a business from scratch. Somebody else has already done the hard work for you. You just simply go in there, you check out different businesses that are between the $50,000 and $100,000 range, whatever you can actually qualify for with unsecured credit. And you can go on there and look for different businesses that are available in your price range based on how much unsecured credit that you could basically borrow essentially for free for a year. And you could turn around and buy one of those businesses that's already cash flowing. Yes, it already has a built-in cash flow. And if I were to start my entire business all over again, knowing the secrets that it took me 30 years to learn, I would do it that way. And the reason I would do it that way is because starting a business is hard, it's risky. And many times, if you do not know what you're doing, you don't have the skill set to, for example, start an online marketing company or an online funnel business or any other business out there, and you don't have the pre-built-in acquired skill set that sometimes takes years, if not decades, to acquire, then it's very risky, especially if you don't come from maybe an entrepreneurial, family, or you didn't go to an entrepreneurial school or college, and you really have no clue on how to start a business. Most people don't know how to start a cash flowing, profitable business. In fact, if you actually looked at the data from the US government, you'd find that most companies do fail within the first 5 years. And that's because most people just simply don't have the skill set. They're undercapitalized, and a variety of other reasons why they fail. So why do all of that when you can simply go and find a pre-existing business that's pretty fairly cheap? I mean, many of the businesses that you'll find on Flippa.com, you can get them fairly cheap that already have a pre-existing cash flow. And even better, the current owners of those companies will turn around and tell you and share with you step by step on exactly how to continue with the cash flow. They're not just going to say, here's your company, and off they go into the sunset. Part of the agreement and the arrangement is going to be that they will hold your hand for a while and show you how the business works, so then that way you can continue getting that cash flow and maybe building on that cash flow over time. So all you need to do then is focus on a business that can give you enough cash flow to pay back the $50,000 to $100,000 that you had borrowed, ideally before the year is up, when you have to start paying back the interest on those credit cards. So that's essentially how you can get rich, using the full leverage of OPM or other people's money, by simply borrowing a 0% APR for a time frame, ideally 12 months, using that money to buy a business, and then paying back with the cash flow of that business. 100% of that cash flow should be going back to those credit cards until they're paid off. And then you basically get the benefit of the cash flow for that business forever, provided that you put the time, effort, and energy to continue carrying on with that business. And so that's the fastest, best, and easiest way to do this. And of course, 30 years ago, there was no Flippa.com or any of these other opportunities that you have to be able to easily, quickly buy a business that's already cash flowing. So there's so many benefits to being able to be in business today. Not only opportunities to get, unsecured credit of $50,000 a crack for each credit card. Of course, Bank of America and American Express and others are not going to give you $50,000 usually off the bat. They'll give you anywhere from, 15 to 25, but still collectively all of those credit cards can add up to $100,000 or more that you can essentially use to buy a business that's already cash flowing. So you want to find the business that you have the most interest in, that has the most cash flow, that is the most affordable for you to be able to get into, that could ideally allow you the cash flow that's enough to be able to pay those credit cards back within that first 12-month period, or whatever your period is that you have 0% APR. And then after that, you basically have a free business that somebody lent you the money for, that you were able to pay back, that you now have a cash flow for the rest of your life. And you can wash, rinse, repeat, and do this as many times as you want. So maybe next year you decide you want to do the same thing again with some unsecured credit. Maybe get yourself a brand spanking new for-profit corporation. You can get yourself a second, third, fourth, fifth corporation if you'd like. Do the same thing. Get yourself new credit cards. Do the exact same thing. Get yourself another $50,000 to $100,000. You'll probably be more credit worthy, so you'll be able to get $200,000 maybe or more. Buy a bigger business with more cash flow, and keep doing that. And pretty soon you'll have a multitude of different businesses that you didn't start, that you didn't take the risk in starting, that you're able to now use the cash flow from, that you didn't even have to put a dime of your own money into. So that's the beauty of this whole thing. And again, I wish I would have known this 30 years ago, that this was possible. And, to my credit, obviously, there was no Flippa.com. There was no opportunity to be able to quickly and easily get a cash flowing business. And of course, the 0% APR opportunities is also fairly new. Within the past decade or so, to be able to get new customers as introductory 0% APR offers for about a year or sometimes longer. So all of this is new, and you should take maximum advantage of these opportunities in today's day and age, especially in light of the shifting economic, I guess you could say, landscape that's happening now, where maybe your job is not as secure as you thought, or maybe you do need to have a side hustle to be able to survive and even thrive in the upcoming months and years to come. Because let's face it, things are getting more expensive. Inflation is not coming down. I don't care who comes into office. It's not, things are not going to get cheaper. And rent's not going to get cheaper. Mortgages are not going to get cheaper. Food's not going to get cheaper. Nothing's going to get cheaper. It's just going to get more and more expensive. And 10 years from now, things are going to get way more expensive than they are today. And if you're bitching about the prices of stuff today, you're going to be really complaining in 10, 15, 20 years from now. So you might as well take the time, instead of complaining about it and wishing some politician's going to come in and save the day. Not going to happen. It's your responsibility to save your own life and your own family's life by doing some kind of side hustle that's going to make you money. And this is the way to get into that side hustle without spending any money of your own. All you need to do is have a mid FICO of 750 or above to be able to participate in these cash flowing business opportunities that are already set up and already going. They're already cash flowing, and there's literally virtually no risk to you. So if you found that this content was helpful, definitely give me a nice thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel and check out some of the things that I have in the box below, some extra bonuses and so forth that you could take a look at, including some free reports and some free trainings. This is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.